Hi friends, I welcome you all at Crack Grade B. As you know that we are covering news from this Press Information Bureau, and in this particular video we are going to cover news from 11th December to 20th December. So our first news, that government has launched a program for development of semiconductor and display manufacturing ecosystem in India. Union Cabinet has approved recently 76,000 crore to give boost to semiconductor and display manufacturing in the country, and the total amount of the incentive announced for this electronic sector will now reach to 2.3 lakh crore. Aim of the program is to provide attractive incentive support to companies, consortia that are engaged in silicon semiconductor fabs, display fabs, compound semiconductor, silicon photonics, sensor, including MSMEs fabs, semiconductor packaging, ATM, OPT, OSAT, semiconductor design. This incentive has approved first for semiconductor fab and display fab. Under this, it will provide a fiscal support up to 50% of the project cost for setting semiconductor and display fabrication unit. And the union government also work with the state government to set up high-tech cluster with required infrastructure such as land and semiconductor grade water. Now this semiconductor laboratory, the Union Cabinet has approved that Ministry of Election and Information Technology will take a requisite step for modernization, commercialization of semiconductor laboratory, and for exploring this, they will point out some joint venture of SCL with commercial fab partner to modernize the brownfield fab facility. Now this compound semiconductor, silicon photonics, sensor including MSE, fab and semiconductor, ATM, OSAT units, they will give fiscal support of 30% of capital expenditure to approval units. At least 15 of such units of compound semiconductor or semiconductor package are expected to be established with government support under this scheme. Right. Now, under this semiconductor design companies, they are providing design link incentives, and it will extend product design link incentives up to 50% for eligible expenditure, and they are providing product deployment link incentives between 6% to 4% for net sales of 5 years. And they are also giving support for providing 100 domestic companies of semiconductor design for integrated circuit chipset, system on chips and system and IPs. They are also trying to launch a Indian semiconductor mission, and it will give to drive the long-term strategies for developing a sustainable semiconductor and display ecosystem, a specialized and independent semiconductor mission. This India semiconductor mission will help to lead global expert in semiconductor and display industry, and it will also act as a nodal agency for efficient and smooth implementation of the scheme. They are also giving chip to starter program. What they are doing, this program would help to develop 85,000 well-trained engineers, and he claimed that semiconductor designer would be given the opportunity to launch startups. Under this, government will bear the 50% of the expense and under the designing incentive scheme, and this entire program will lead to 35,000 high quality direct jobs and 1 lakh indirect jobs. In a short, you can see that this is the scenario of Indian electronic sector. Under this, Indian electronic sector tremendously growing with demand expected to reach, that is 400 billion by 2023 and 24, and from USD 29 billion in 2014-15, they are reached to USD 17 billion in 2019 and 20. Domestic production has increased with compound annual growth of 25%. So this is the scenario of Indian electronic sector, and India's final assembly units are last mile industry. They focus on them will aid in the development of the deep backwarding linkages, hence including industrialization. This is one of the important scheme which I have taken from this PIB, Actually, this National Action Plan for Drug Demand Reduction was in news recently, and this it was taken care by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. And this National Action Plan for Drug Demand Reduction, under this ministry is giving financial assistance, and it will provide NGO and VO for running and maintenance of the following program, like Nasha Mukti Bharat Abhiyan. It was launched and in 272 most vulnerable districts, and this is a massive community outreach being done through the 8,000 youth. And they are also running integrated rehabilitation center for addicts. They are running it in a very area, and it is not only for treating the drug victims, but they are providing services of preventive education, awareness, generation, motivational counseling, detoxification, de-addiction. They are also running a program that is community-based peer-led intervention, center with focus on vulnerable and at-risk children and adolescents. They are also running a outreach and drop-in center, that is ODIC. It provides a safe and secure space of substances with provision of screening, assessment, counseling, and thereafter providing referral and linkage to treatment and rehabilitation services. They are also giving treatment facilities, and they are setting 35 addiction treatment facilities under the guidance of AIIMS New Delhi. This news was taken for financial sector. This fintech sector highlight the financial technology condition of the financial technological sector in our country. According to this news, fintech's adoption rate in India is 87% against the global average of 64%. Industrial estimate is India has over 676 million smartphone users, over 1.2 billion telecom subscribers, including wireless and wireline, and they have 8 to 5 million internet subscribers, which approximately 39% belong to the rural area. And this data is up to March 2021. In case of digital payment, total number of transactions related to digital payment has increased from 2701 crore in 2017-18 to 554 crore in financial year 2020-21. Under this current financial year, there are 579 crore transaction was done till 15th of December. In terms of startup, India has now host the third largest ecosystem for startup. Very important to be noted from here. And this DPIT is saying that among 59593 startups have been recognized by this Department of Industrial Promotion, and across 57 unique industries, out of which 1860 startups belong to the financial technological sector. And under this unicorn status, as of December 2021, India has 17 fintech companies which have gained unicorn status. Actually, this unicorn word is taken from the unicorn and startup, and this unicorn is a business term used to define a startup which has a valuation of over $1 billion. And this was termed first coined by the venture capitalist and seed investor Alien Lee. There are some key initiatives by the government for fintech's ecosystem in India, like Jan Dhan Yojana, India's tax, Aadhaar enabled payment system, Aadhaar payment system. Now, government has recently passed this dam safety bill, and it was passed by the government with a strong objection from the opposition party. It was passed by the Lok Sabha in August 2019, but it was passed by the Rajya Sabha recently in December 2021. Why the requirement? Actually, India is a country where dams are constructed and maintained by the state and also maintained by the autonomous bodies. So dam security in India is concerned because India has a large 5200 large dam and 5200 medium large dams and 450 large dams under construction without any legal institution architecture. So it is very unsafe and hazardous, and they may break and also cause disaster. So these are some highlights of the bill. According to the bill, this bill provides surveillance, inspection, operation, maintenance of the dam to prevent disaster and institutional mechanisms to ensure safety. It will apply on the 5,000 dams across the country, mainly many of which are currently in poor condition, and its coverage will be all dam in India with a height over 15 meters. Dam between 10 to 50 meters are also covered under this, and this there are some committees and authorities were set up under this. The first is National Committee on Dam Safety. Its tenure will be 3 years and it will be composed of chairman of Central Water Commission, maximum 10 representative of the central government in the rank of joint secretary, maximum 7 representative of the state government, and 3 experts. And there is another authority that is known as the National Dam Safety Authority, and this will provide for the formation of NDSA. These are some functions of this authority. It will be responsible for implementing the policy of the NCDS. It will resolve the issue between state dam safety organization and dam owner, and it will also specify regulation for the inspection of dam and will provide accreditation to the various agencies. Besides it, there is one organization is known as State Dam Safety Organization, and it will propose a legislation also envisages constitution as a state dam safety organization. These are some functions of it. Its first function is it will be kept perpetual surveillance. It will inspect, monitor and operation and maintenance of the dam, keep a database of all dams, and recommend safety measures to owner of the dam. There are some obligations on the owner of the dam. Under this dam, the owner of the specified dams are required to provide a dam safety unit in each dam to inspect the dam before and after the monsoon session. He will prepare an emergency plan to carry out risk assessment study for each dam. He will also require to conduct a comprehensive dam safety evaluation of each dam. There are some provision of punishment. There are 2 types of punishment. The first is obstructing, that is, if someone is obstructing in discharging of this function, and if someone is refusing to comply with the direction. There are some imprisonment and penalty under this punishment. The first is the imprisonment penalty can be of 1 year or fine or both, and if the offence leads to loss of life, the terms of imprisonment can be extended up to 2 years. There are some issue with the bill. That is, the first one is, actually you know that it is water is the state subject. So how central government can control the dam if water is the subject of the state? And this bill is also detrimental at the federal principle according to some expert, according to some states. And the powers rest with the state regarding the dam maintenance and operation will be transferred to the National Dam Safety Authority, as you know that, which I have told you in my previous slide. And the last point is, in a country where most of the dams are built, operated, maintained, owned by the state government, and this act remains the sea when long pending dispute will rise. Actually, this water and dam is a state subject or autonomous bodies control the dam. Then this act passed by the central government will create some long pending dispute between the states. Friends, I have taken some important data from this PIB in question and answer format. So I have taken 2 or 3 questions. We can discuss this. First is, what are the various policy measures and is implementing scheme to support and boost the food processing sector taken by the government recently? So answer for this question I have taken from the PIB. For example, the government has taken various measures. These are some major policy measures like inclusion of food and agro-based processing units and cold chain as agriculture activity under the priority sector lending scheme. If you will do food and agro-based processing unit under this priority sector lending scheme, then fund will be available to this scheme. Then they have given some special food processing fund of rupees 2000 crore under the NABARD to provide affordable credit for investment in setting up mega food park as well as processing units in the mega food parks. And they have given some changes under this Food Safety and Standard Authority Act. They have shifted the measurement by this FSSAI from product by product approval to the ingredient and additive base approval, and they have released and they have allowed 100% FDI under atomic route to this sector. So these are some measures taken by the government to boost this food and processing sector. Now our second question is, discuss the strategy of the government for poverty alleviation in the rural areas. So according to the Ministry of Rural Development, rural poverty and improve the economic well-being, they have focused on increasing livelihood opportunities, empowering rural women, providing social safety net, skilling of rural youth, and increasing land productivity. They are running these schemes like Mahatma Gandhi MGNREGA, Day NRLM, DDU GKY, PMAYG, PMGSY, SPRM, NSAP, and WC PMKSY. So these are the schemes runs by the Ministry of Rural Development for upliftment or poverty alleviation in rural areas. They have improved some monitoring and evaluation system, like in order to ensure the program benefit to reach the rural poor, the ministry has evolved a comprehensive multi-level, multi-format system of monitoring and evaluation. They have some committees like Performance Review Committee, District Development Coordination Committee, that is DISHA, National Level Monitoring Committee, Area Officers Scheme, Common Reviews. So they have given some committee to overcome the challenges faced for implementation of this scheme for poverty alleviation in rural areas. They are also doing some social audits, like they are conducting social audits for MGNREGA and PMAYG, and they are doing the social audit with the help of the third party, and they are using information and communication technology. For example, they are using geotagging for asset, direct DBT, National Electronic Fund Management System, Aadhaar based payment system, secure. So these are the steps taken by the government. They have taken some other steps, like state specific review of the state uses are also undertaken from time to time, and the ministry monitor the disposal of public grievances as the reports in media. Now the third question, you have to discuss the initiative taken by the government of India under Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan to support the MSME sector in the country, especially in COVID-19 pandemic. So these are the following initiatives. Government has given 20,000 crore subordinate debt for MSMEs. They have given 3 lakh crore as a collateral free automatic loan for business including MSMEs. For existing overall guarantee limit under ECGLS has been enhanced from 3 lakh to 4.5 crore. They have given 50,000 crore equity infusion through MSMEs fund of funds. They have revised the criteria for classification of MSMEs. They have given new registration of MSMEs through Udyam registration for ease of doing business, and they have given no number of global tenders for procurement of rupees 2,000 crore. No global tender for the procurement up to rupees 2,000 crore. So in this case, the tender up to 2,000 crore can be flowed with the Indian companies or MSMEs from India only. So these are the steps taken by the government. Now there are some short news, that is, the recently United Nations State grant observed status to International Solar Alliance. That is, government has given, United States has given observer status to International Solar Alliance. Now the recently Prime Minister inaugurated the interlinking river project, that is Saryu Nehar National Project, and this project will benefit. They have launched this project in Balrampur in Uttar Pradesh. This project intends the interlinking of the 5 rivers, mainly Gagra, Saryu, Rapti, Banganga and Rohini. And this project was initially taken in 1978 but not started. Recently it was started by the government, and in 2016 the project was included within the ambit of the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Importance of this project is it will increase the agriculture potential in the region. About 20 lakh farmers will help from this project, and this is an exemplary project that reflects the commitment of the government towards farmers and welfare empowerment. Recently, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment has scheduled to launch a national helpline against atrocity, that is NHA. What is the aim? It will ensure proper implementation of this Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Acts. It will prevent the atrocities on member of Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe. It will give relief to them. It will ensure that FIR was registered or not, and if it will also ensure that charge sheet was filed or not under the court. The feature of this act, number, that is 14566. It is a toll-free number. Thus, this NHA will available around the clock on toll-free number, that is 14566. It can be accessed by making voice call or via VoIP, and this service will be available in Hindi, English or regional language to the state and UTs, and the one mobile application will also be available. Recently, India's first and one of the world's largest green hydrogen microgrid project was launched in Simhadri, that is in Visakhapatnam, and it was launched by the NTPC. It will a stand-alone fuel cell-based microgrid with hydrogen production, and it will use the electrolyzer, and it will be implemented in NTPC guest house at Simhadri. It is India's first green hydrogen-based energy storage project, and it would also precursor to a large-scale hydrogen energy storage project, and it would be useful for studying and deploying multiple microgrids in our country. Recently, Kolkata Durga Puja inscribed on the tangible heritage list by the UNESCO, and our Prime Minister has tweeted on this. It is a matter of great pride and joy for every Indian. Actually, the Intergovernmental Committee of UNESCO 2033 Convention on Safeguarding of the Intangible and Cultural Heritage was inscribed Durga Puja in Kolkata on the representative list of intangible cultural heritage of the humanity during its 16th session being held at Paris, France from 30th to 18th December. First ever Khelo India Women Hockey League was launched by the Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, and it was inaugurated, and this league was played under 21, and it will be played at Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium in New Delhi. The cash prize for is winner will get the cash prize of rupees 30 lakh, and team and time, a total 14 teams will be compete in first phase, and tournament will be held between 15th to 21st December. All India Mayor Conference with the theme New Urban India was launched by the Prime Minister to address, and it was address conference via video conferencing. It was organized by the Department of Urban Development, Uttar Pradesh in Varanasi, and mayors from various states across the country will participate in the conference. Recently, our Prime Minister was honored with the Bhutan highest civilian award. It was given by the King of Bhutan, His Majesty Justice Jigme Khesar Namgyal Wangchuk, and this is the highest civilian order, that is Order of the Druk Gyalpo on Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, and they have given this award on the country's National Day. Now, recently the North India Median Center of Entrepreneurship, that is MedTalk, was inaugurated in Lucknow, and this is a MedTech at the SGPG Lucknow, and this Center of Excellence shall provide the plug and play facilities to the co-working and incubation space. It will give high-speed internet, that is up to 500 Mbps, Medi Electronics and Health Informatics and IoT labs. It will support on intellectual property rights. It will give assistance for marketing and network outreach among the other facilities. The Department of Promotion and Industry Internal Trade has launched a program that is known as the Unified Logistic Interface Platform, ULIP Hackathon on logistics, in order to crowd sources more ideas with the logical industry. In this, the cost of logistics in India is about 14%, and which is higher than the other countries. This ULIP's objective has been to work with the top Indian technology organization from the private and identify solution to the reduced logistic cost. Benefits: ULIP is being developed as a technological platform in the logistics sector, which will provide real-time information. All stakeholders will converge visibility and multi-modal transport, and it will give the boost to existing system of various ministries and departments working in silos. it by bringing down the logistic cost and enhance India's competitiveness in the world. Technology-based energy solution innovation. This is a program between the India's UTs and ST-based entrepreneurial initiative. The title of the program is Technology-based Energy Solution Innovation for Net Zero Constitution, and the main aim of this program is to address the development and implementation of next generation clean and renewable energy, energy storage and carbon sequestration, and it is a program between the US and India for giving Indian industry and giving boost and development to the next generation clean and renewable energy. Recently, Ganga Express project was launched by our Prime Minister, and they have laid the foundation of this project in Shahjahanpur district, Uttar Pradesh. This will pass from, this is one of the longest, and the length of this express will be 594 km, and it will pass through the district of Meerut, Hapur, Bulandshahr, Armoha, Sambhal, Badaयूं, Shahjahanpur, Hardoi, Unnao, Raebareli, Pratapgarh and Prayagraj. And it will start from Bijali village in Meerut to the Prayagraj in Jadavpur Dandu. Cost of this project will be 36200, and its features are, it will be 6 lane, can be extended up to 8 lane. It will pass it through the 140 river, 129.7 km. Meerut to Badaयूं will be in first phase. They are also planning to make a 3.5 km airstrip on the expressway in Shahjahanpur district. They are giving some public facilities, and industrial corridor will also be developed on the cluster along the expressway, and total 1200 people will hired on a temporary basis for construction, and it will employ around 100 people at toll plaza. Recently, silver medal was won by the Kidambi Shrikant at a World Championship 2021. This Nadi Utsav 2021 was celebrated by the Ministry of Jal Shakti, Ministry of Culture and Tradition, Ministry of Tourism nationwide for Clean Ganga. Actually, this event was held across 22 states, 170 districts in India, and it will have a fun at Brahmaputra, Indus, Sabarmati, Narmada, Krishna, Amman Nadi, Godavari and Ganga, Kaveri and Yamuna River. This celebration are organized under 4 chosen themes, namely cleanliness, nature and ecology, patriotism and devotion and spirituality. Recently, this Union Minister of Rural Development Panchayati Raj, Shri Giraj Singh, has launched a management information system portal for ranking of state UTs in land acquisition project under RFCTLAR Act 2013, that is Right to Fair Compensation and Transparency in Land Acquisition Rehabilitation Resettlement Act. Union Minister also announced that as per the ranking performance, top 3 states and top 3 districts will be awarded. Recently, our Prime Minister has launched the corridor, that is the Kashi Vishwanath corridor, and PM long held aim of building a readily accessible road between the Kashi Vishwanath temple and Ganga river banks will be realized with the initiative. PM has laid the foundation of this project on March 8, 2019, and it is the massive makeover. Actually, this project was being renovated after 780 when it was renovated by the Maratha Queen Ahilyabai Holkar of Indore. And this is the project the government is doing for temple, like they are launching 40 historical temples and they are beautifying and renovating it, and it will cover the 5 lakh square feet area. There are 23 additional structures were built as a part of the project to provide devotees with a variety of services. They are giving 23 building, tourist facilitation center, Vedic Kendras, Mumuksha Bhavan, Bhogshala, City Museum under this project. There are some facts about this temple. Actually, this temple is related to the Lord Shiva, and it is a very well-known Hindu temple. It is located in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh, and it is located on the Ganga's western bank. This temple is one of the 12 Jyotirling in our country. Miss Universe. Actually, India's Harnaaj Sindhu was made history and she was crowned Miss Universe after 21 years. It was won by the Lara Datta and Sushmita Sen. Lara Datta have won it in 2000 and Sushmita Sen has won this title in 1994. Actually, some point about this Miss Universe is that Miss Universe is an annual international beauty pageant that is run by the United States-based Miss Universe organization, and it is one of the most pageant in the world with an estimates of audience of about 500 million viewers. It was started in 1952. Now there are some updation of scheme. The government has updated Atmanirbhar Bharat Yojana, that is Maharashtra has topped the relief list of the maximum number of beneficiaries, and the sequencing is Maharashtra is top, then Gujarat and Karnataka. Recently, Startup and India Seed Fund, government has given 945 crore approved for the period of 4 years starting from 2021-22 for this scheme. Recently, the Union Cabinet chaired by the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi has approved the incentive scheme to promote RuPay debit card, that is up to 2000 and Bhim UPI transaction person to person merchant in the country. The financial outlay for this is 1300 crore and it will be for the period of 1 year effective from 1 April 2021. Incentive will be given to the bank for the bank will incentivize by the government by way of paying percentage of value of transaction done through RuPay debit card and low value Bhim UPI card. This is the Textile Worker Rehabilitation Fund scheme and it was launched in 15 of September 1986. Under this scheme, relief is given to the worker rendered jobless due to permanent closure of non-SSI textile mill in a private sector. And it was merged with effective from 1st April 2017 and it is merged with the Rajiv Gandhi Shramik Kalyan Yojana under the Ministry of Labour and Employment. And this Ambedkar Hastashilp Vikas Yojana, it was also in use. It was launched in the year 2021 and its main aim was to mobilize the artisan into self-help group and training the group on a various aspects of forming and fuming community business. Objectives are to mobilize and generate awareness, typical handicraft arts of their overall development, provide training to the artisan and expose them to greater market to sell their handicrafts, provide proper education and market knowledge to artisans so that they learn the market technique. In 2019 to 21, 1,937 artisan was covered under this scheme. Recently, under this day NRLM, the Department of Rural Development, Ministry of Rural Development will launch the overdraft facility and from 18 December 2021 and it was announced by the Finance Minister in the budget of 2019 and 20. This Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana, government has revised the premium subsidy sharing pattern of North Indian state from 50-50 to 19-10 between the central and state government. And other states, it is for 50-50. And for administrative expenses, government is planning to revamp the scheme operation guideline and they have earmarked the administrative expenses at the 3% of the total budget. Recently, 34th edition of the Hunar Haat was organized at Vanita Vishram Surat from 11th December to 20th December. This Hunar Haat is a powerful perfect platform for development with the dignity of indigenous artisans and craftsmen. And its next edition will be organized in Delhi, that is in Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium from 22nd December 2021 to 2nd January 2022. The Governor of Gujarat has launched this and inaugurated this 34th edition of Hunar Haat. There is a tripartite national dialogue on global call action for human-centered recovery was organized by the International Labour Organization in collaboration with the Ministry of Labour and Employment. Its objective are this tripartite conference was discussed to the 4 priority area for global call to action like inclusive economic growth and employment, protection of all workers, universal social protection, social dialogue in the context of India. And this conference was envisaged to foster convergence and tripartite action contributing to the implementation of ILO Sanitary Declaration. Recently, this Animal Husbandry Startup Grand Challenge, the second version of this edition of this challenge, Animal Husbandry Startup Grand Challenge, was celebrated at National Milk Day at Anand, Gujarat to commemorate the birth centenary of Dr. Verghese Kurien. The aim of this is to scout for innovation and commercially viable solution to the address 6 problems faced by the animal husbandry. 6 problems are cost-effective, long-term, user-friendly alternative for storage and supply of Siemens dose, development of cost-effective animal identification and traceability technology, development of heat detection kits, development of pregnancy diagnosis kit for dairy animals, improvement of existing milk supply chain, development of low-cost cooling and milk preservation. Award under this scheme, a winner will be awarded of rupees 10 lakh and runner-up will be awarded 7 lakh and for each of the 6 problems. This challenge is open for application from this website. These are some facts. This National Highway 334 being is under construction and it will be work under this UP Haryana border, that is Baghpat, and it will end at Rohna, and it will provide seamless connectivity from UP to the Rajasthan border. There are some status of defense export, and this export of defense was increased from 2014-15 to 2020 and 21 from 19406 crore to 84346 crore. This is a total export. Actually, in last 7 years, the foreign direct investment inflow of for this 44026 billion have been imported in India, and FDI flow in India stood at 4515 billion from 2014-15, and it is increased to 8197 US dollar in 2020-21. Computer software and hardware sector attract the largest share of it, and it contribute 29%. Then top five countries of FDI equity inflow during April 2014 to August 2021 is Singapore, that is 28%, then Mauritius, USA, Netherlands, and Japan. Sometimes you can have question that which country has the highest foreign direct investment in country, then answer will be Singapore. Then top 5 items that attract largest FDI in our country is, that is computer software hardware 19%, service 15%, trading 18%, 8%, telecommunication 7%, and construction 7%. Share of export in India has increased, and it was 18.7% in 2020-21, which is already above 15%. And in the current financial year, it is 21.7% in first half, that is from April to September in 2021. There are some nutritional indicators given by the National Family Health Survey 2019-21. According to this survey, the nutritional health indicator of children under 5 years have improved as compared to NFHS4. Under this, stunting, wasting and underweight had reduced from 38.4%, 35.5%, 21% to 19.3, 35.8 and 32.1%. There are some announcement for this PLI scheme. The government has announced 1.97 lakh crore for PLI scheme under this 2021 and 22 for the fiscal year 2021. And this automobile sector has contributed 35% to manufacturing in GDP. And the ranking of our vehicle in terms of production in world market, we are number 1 in production of 2-wheeler, 3-wheelers and tractors. We are at 5th position for passenger vehicle. We are at 5th position as commercial vehicle. And PLI scheme for automobile sector is rupees 25.938 crore. Export and import of mobiles, it has also been increased for 0.2 billion in 2017-18 to 1.7 billion in 2021. According to the quarterly employment survey of the period April-June 2021, employment increased from 3.80 crore in 9 selected sectors of the economy to 2.37 crore. As reported in 6th economic survey, that is in 2014, reflecting a growth of 29%. It is an impressive growth, and the most impressive growth was seen in the IT and BPO sector, that is 152%. Other areas are health, that is 77%, education 39%, manufacturing 22%, transport 68%, construction 42%. And as per the annual periodic labor force survey, in last the person of age 15 years and below, unemployment rate has decreased from 2017-18 from 6 to 4.8 in 2019 and 20. Under this Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund, it is a central sector scheme, and this total fund allocated for this 2021-22 period is 113 crore. Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana According to this scheme, 68% beneficiaries are women entrepreneurs, and total 44% amount has been sanctioned to this woman. Tax and cess on petrol. The government has collected 4,55,069 crore tax from cess on petrol or diesel in 2020 and 21. There are some news which can be learned in one line, that there was a MOU signed between ADB and India, and this India and ADB signed a $112 million loan for establishing Skill University in Assam. Union Minister inaugurated the Good Governance Week 2025 December to showcase and replicate the best governance practices in grassroots level. There is a MOU signed between the India and ADB of $350 million for sustainable urban service in India, and they have also signed a MOU of $150 million to provide loan affordable housing for urban poor in Tamil Nadu. Recently, Raksha Mantri inaugurates a Center of Excellence in Land Survey in National Institute of Defence Estate Management, and SAIL received a prestigious Global Golden Peacock Environment Management Award 2021. Our President Ramnath Kovind inaugurated and renovated a historic Ramanna Kali temple in Dhaka. India and Vietnam signed a letter of intent for enhanced cooperation in postal sector. Recently, PM visit Goa on 19 December to participate in Goa Liberation Day. India's rice of export raised over 33%, that is 11.7 metric ton in first 7 months of current financial year. There was an agreement between ISRO. ISRO has signed 6 agreements with 4 countries for launching foreign satellite during 2021-23. India and Vietnam also signed an agreement in the field of information and technology. Setu Bharatan program was launched by the government for replacing the railway crossing on national highway and road over bridges. And this Kapila program was launched on 15th of October, and the full form of this program is Kalam Program for Intellectual Property Literacy and Awareness Program. This program was launched to increase awareness regarding protection and exploitation of intellectual property right. And in last, Pareshan Gaon Ki Or, it was launched by the Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh. It is a nationwide campaign for redressal of public grievance and improving social services. So friends, this was all from my side regarding this PIB news. Thank you and happy learning. तो थैंक यू एंड हैप्पी लर्निंग. पढ़ते रहिए, मेहनत करते रहिए.